FALz. I saw FALz in a podcast for the first time reacting to the Bobrisky Falana case. First and foremost, FALz, I'm ashamed of you. I am ashamed of you that you seem not to be able to stand alone.
First question.
Yes. What do you think about his activism?
I don't know much of it. I'll be honest with you. I don't know much of it. Prior to the first video where he mentioned me and my dad.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you guys are watching me from. Once the bad guy become outside, to me, he become outside to come embarrass himself, because why will you come out and they ask you question? You know me say you get beef with person. You know me say you get issue with person. You know me say where you deny say you don't know the person. The first way for piss me or personal be say you don't know who be VDM. You don't know very dark man. Based on say he only hear in once when very dark man be the get issue with all the church wahala based on NAFDAC or non-NAFDAC issue. Say not only then he hear very dark man name. Then apart from that, he never know, he never hear anything with very dark man they do. Which me I still believe say even small picking for this country, if they call VDM, they know who they talk about. People, I don't meet people who say that they inside typical village. No radio, no TV, but they know the name of very dark man, even though they never sound for it. Talk less of you as a celebrity where you be. So to me, another thing wey me I see for fans, the bad guy, to me it's not man enough, because I just say he perch on his father asset, he perch on his father name. He never be come out bold enough to write up. See what VDM do me, will make me fail. Why will VDM do this? When I listen to what he want talk, then when I listen to what Mr. Magnus need to talk about the matter too, because Magnus is very, very, very disappointed based on FALz matter, based on the way we found Yanis.
FALz. I saw FALz in a podcast for the first time reacting to the Bobrisky Falana case. First and foremost, FALz, I'm ashamed of you. I am ashamed of you that you seem not to be able to stand alone. You are like a crybaby getting support because his father exists, or because his father is a son, or because his father is a person of repute in this country. In that podcast that I listened to, every single statement was accompanied with the mentioning of your father. Me and my father, me and my father, me and my father. Can't you stand alone? If I were you or my son, why are you Look, pride. It's very good to have pride. But there are two types of prides I don't like. Pride inside poverty and pride inside shame. What you are displaying now, you say what? What you are displaying now is pride inside shame. Yes, the shame has been brought to you because when you are doing this thing, the likes of us, common men, would not have known this was the kind of things you are engaged. These are the type of friends you keep. So inside this shame, you want to tell Nigerians that you still have your pride. So either way this situation goes, either way, it's a lose-lose situation for you and your almighty dad. It's a lose-lose situation. There's no aspect to this scandal that you come out top. There's no aspect to it. Apasia, no way. Apasia, no way. Apasia, no way. You are surrounded by locked arms or locked hands, and everybody is watching which way you are going to try or attempt to break free. There's no way out for you here. That's just the truth. And I told you from beginning, if you had kept that silence right from beginning, this thing would have faded away naturally, like every other momentous cases that have greeted the social media space or the gossiping eyes of Nigeria. This thing would have, but you guys kept renewing, thinking that you have money or you have connection, and then you said there's a criminal angle to this thing. All I need to do is prove that that audio is real, and that's all. So what FALz you are doing, of course, even the podcast, I can clearly see that it was an arranged podcast. It was a carefully scripted podcast as to what you will say and what question we ask. Please come to my own podcast. Let me ask you the questions. My name is Magnus Oraka. If you are indeed innocent as you claim you are, as you claim to be, come to my own podcast. Let me ask you the unbiased questions that I need you to answer. My questions will be: one, VDM got an audio and posted. Whether he was wrong in doing that or he was right in doing that, for me, that is secondary. The important question is this: do you have a relationship with Bobrisky? Yes or no? Do you have a relationship with Bobrisky? What type of relationship do you have with Bobrisky? Is the relationship sexual in nature? Or have you ever had any sexual experience with Bobrisky? How did Bobrisky get to have your phone number to the extent of almost also communicating with your dad? If today a sexual tape leaks out and you are in that video with Bobrisky having, you know, what will be your reaction? Will it be, that is not me, or will you go bowing your head in shame? These are the questions I will ask you. Hot, undiluted questions. Why are you angry with VDM when all he did was play a tape and respond to the insinuation that will naturally come to everybody who listens to the audio? So on that podcast, you are not being asked the right questions. You were asked questions that you guys had prepared before the podcast. Come to my own, make I ask you water question, black and blue questions. If you pass that question, this matter, I will tell VDM to shut up and never talk about this thing again. Do you think, in your opinion, that the audio VDM release is fake? When you spoke on phone with Bobrisky in the prison as a lawyer, you know it is illegal for a convicted inmate to be calling you from his cell on phone. You as a lawyer should have understood. Why did you not withdraw yourself from the situation as at when it was playing? Why did you not release yourself? These are pertinent questions I would have thrown at you. So don't go to an RNG podcast. Come to me. Let me blast you with questions. And if you scale through, you are free for good. You are free for good. That podcast to me was an attempt to save face. It's just an attempt to save face. And as much as I think you are trying to do that, the more you are refreshing Nigerians to believe that yes, there is something. We may not have a finger to it now, but there is indeed something. That is indeed something. So, The country is bad. Very, very bad. That VDM insinuated that you claim to be an activist. They asked you what type of activist is that VDM called you on phone and was defensive and was apprehensive. I don't think Very Dark Man will call you on phone and be acting in the manner you described in that podcast. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. Because VDM told us that Sheun Kuti implored him to call you. And you people started from text messaging until you call. And VDM said in that phone call, he suspected you were trying to record him to gather evidence, whatever, so he disconnected the call. This matter would have been forgotten easily, but for some reason, the only people that are perpetuating these thoughts and memory of this case is Falana and his son. And I feel pity for you that I thought your father is the one infusing himself into this case, which I think is inappropriate for a man of his caliber and a father of his age to be infusing himself on social media gossip. The only person disgracing the Falana is you and your father. You seem not to be trying to leave your father out of it. If your father is talking, he brings his son in. If the son is talking, he brings his father in. So give or take, both of you are the ones disgracing the Falana, not VDM. Not even the audio tape. Not even Bobrisky. Bobrisky is Bobrisky. VDM is VDM. Now the whole 200 plus Nigerians, they now know who Falana is. They now know who FALz is. They now know who Bobrisky is. They now know who VDM is. And they now know that there's a possibility, there's a likelihood that you guys are trying to cover a suspicion that possibly you are engaged in Gabrielic movement. You understand me? That is what it looks like. So, for me, whatever you are doing, if you want to go into a podcast, pick an anchor that will play the devil's advocate. Pick an anchor that will give you hard questions. If you are innocent, you won't be afraid to pick anchors that are hard. Join me on my live stream. Let me ask you questions. I am sure if you pass it, the whole world will know that you are innocent. Even if you don't have a relationship with Bobrisky, I will ask you another question. What sexual identity should I attribute to you? Are you straight? Are you queer? Are you L? Are you G? Are you B? Are you T? Are you Q? Because these things that you guys are trying to cover in this country will not work. Okay, that's about FALz. Now let's go to the House of Reps. The House of Reps are playing Nigerians for a fool. House of Reps, they are playing Nigeria for a fool. Nigerians, they are playing Nigerians for fools. Yes, I said so. Now, the House of Representatives set up a committee to investigate into the allegation of fraud and fraudulent activities in the correctional, fraudulent activities in the EFCC and the Correction Center. So far, there is a video showing that the committee went to the Correction Center and did their investigation and came out and issued a finding. House of Representatives, I would tell you that your investigation was was incomplete. How do you carry out an investigation and then issue out a finding when the person who made an audio or when the person whose voice was alleged to be in an audio revealing the reason why you went to the correction center in the first place was not interviewed? You cannot have a complete investigation without Bobrisky. So I think all these shenanigans you are playing, Bobrisky trying to run away from Nigeria, Bobrisky handed over to the police, Bobrisky suddenly started developing high temperature and then rushed to the hospital. All this is just so that Bobrisky does not appear in a situation where he is questioned. And as far as I'm concerned, the House of Reps, you are all complicit. That Godfather is, I think, is stronger than a governor, because a governor will not have that strength to be dishing orders. Now, I had a call from somebody who begged I shouldn't mention the gender. I shouldn't mention the tribe. But I had a call from a reliable source, a relation to the person in charge of Lagos State Prison. Allegedly. What's the man's name again? Michael something. Michael N something like that. I forgot, because the name is on this phone that I'm using to do this broadcast. And the real story was that when Bobrisky came, you were going to admit him like every other prisoner. But a call came in from Abuja that you shouldn't allow Bobrisky to be in that cell, which you obliged. And now, in trying to scapegoat who to punish, they are punished. It's only you that they suspended. The person in charge of Lagos prison is an Igbo man. And let me tell you that people very close to you called me and told me the whole story. Bobrisky stayed in that cell, I think, for 3 days or so. 3 days or so. And the House of Assembly, you are reporting that a house inside the cell was furnished. They gave him TV, they gave him humidity control, and that's not true. Bobrisky stayed outside. Bobrisky stayed in an apartment outside the correction center with house help, refrigerators, television, phone call, cook. There were people cooking for him. He was like a prince of Lagos that was there. He had cooks, he had bodyguards, he had air condition, he had 24-hour power, 24-hour supply of generator, 24-hour power supply. He was living large. Imagine somebody sent to jail with cook. Did they cook for him? The person who called me all the way from US, who investigated the matter in Nigeria, because he's a member of the family which was suspended, gave me the whole lowdown. So you coming out with a report that didn't include the House of Reps hearing the side of Bobrisky. It's rubbish. I am disappointed. Very, very disappointed. You see, what you guys are trying to cover up is that Godfather. I think the Godfather is somebody that is within the top bracket of the top 5 strongest people in Nigeria. That Godfather. The Godfather might be, you know, you know, or head of, you know. But I think it must be one of the top 5 people in Nigeria. Only such who can give order that, look, don't do this yet. So what you guys are doing with Bobrisky, you guys are protecting the Godfather. House of Reps, Correction Center, you are protecting that Godfather because that Godfather is a big name. The Godfather is not Falana. Other of you suspect is Falana. It's not Falana. The Godfather is not Falana at all. So this is the true story. This is the real story. Bobrisky spent at least 3 or 4 days in the police station, in the prison cell. 3 or 4 days. And he didn't even spend it in that cell. He spent it in a makeshift. He spent 3 or 4 days while they were using those 3 or 4 days to prepare that outside cell for him. So if the house of let me take the story again. At the start video, 9 shit can't they disturb me. I won't first make I go shit never go dey quiet. And I dey shit. They take before I finish my shit. Oh. Anyway, let me try and continue. If I stop this video, let me say I don't feel hold the shit again. So the truth is this. This is the exact story as told by the relation of the prison officer that was suspended. Bobrisky went to the prison quite okay. Was taken inside the prison quite okay. Now, because the apartment was not prepared as at the time they brought him, he stayed in an exclusive cell that was just makeshift, just convenient for him to stay for that 3 days while they were preparing the apartment outside, where they have good mattress, television, this thing, AC, generator, everything. If VDM can contact me, I will give VDM the number of the person who told me the real story, so that the person can also tell him the whole story, so that he will have more evidence on his side. I will give him the number of the person who called me. The person lives in US, so that they can communicate with themselves. So if you know VDM, tell him to contact me. I will give him the person's number who gave me the real account of what happened.
First of all, a direct question to you will be, what do you think of his activism?
To be honest with you,
What do you think?
ideally, you know, I probably would have said, I don't want to talk about it, but
You're one of the most intelligent people.
Yeah,
Man.
no.
You can walk that tight line.
yeah, it's not an issue for
Yeah.
me. And also because there's been quite some misreporting going on.
Facts.
To answer your first question,
Yes.
what,
What do you think about his activism?
I don't know much of it. I'll be honest with you. I don't know much of it. Prior to the first video where he mentioned me and my dad, I hadn't seen much of him. I hadn't seen.
Yes.
What I had seen, what I remember seeing was, I don't think this was probably like a while ago, some stuff about people that didn't have NAFDAC and they were selling products. And I thought,
that was the beginning.
And
Yes.
at that time when I saw some of those clips, I was like, okay, this person seems to be doing
Facts.
something right. You know, this is a good cause.
Facts.
You know, but aside that, I wouldn't lie to you, I really haven't seen much of his work.
Which
You
can
know.
happen because social media algorithm takes people different ways.
Yeah. Now this person one day thought it wise to turn on his ring light, sit down, and via direct statements, insinuations, and innuendos, allege that myself and my dad connived with some certain individuals to manipulate justice and bribe the EFCC. And adding that the reason I've done this is because I have a homosexual relationship with Bobrisky. Going further to say that my posturing as an activist, everything is false.
Yeah. How did you feel about when that came out? Personally, how did you feel?
How would anyone feel? It's horrible things to say. Absolutely no proof. Why would you just come and allege all these things? You have absolutely nothing to support all these statements. And this is why I say, when we speak about seed of discord, just ordinary Nigerians, I think also need to be a lot more careful in jumping into conclusions, and let's just look at things a bit more objectively, and somebody just coming up and alleging something shouldn't be the basis for which you draw your conclusion. What has this person shown to support this allegation? And what a lot of these people were now saying, why don't you face this? Okay, well, now, via my counsel, I wrote to the person that he's alleging or he's attributing all these statements to, and the person has denied that absolutely no money was paid to me or my dad for nothing. All these things are false, basically. So now you have to defend yourself, because he who alleges must prove. I have gone to court for defamation of character, because that's clearly what this is. Now, recently, it was reported that the court has ordered 500 million naira to be paid, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's false. The case of defamation is still very much in court. Yes, we have instituted proceedings for defamation because, of course, that is what this is. That is very much still ongoing. However, there's something called interim applications, which you can do. While a substantive case is still ongoing, you can apply to the court for an injunction
to hold on to something,
because this defamation still subsists. This video I speak of is still very much on his page, on his pages. He has not taken them down,
and the application was for him to take those down.
So the ruling that the court, exactly, thank you very much, the ruling that the court gave was take this down and desist from any further defamatory remarks pending the determination of this substantive suit. That is what that is. That is what has been decided upon. Of course, in my defamation suit, I'm going to ask for damages, because that is the only remedy available in a civil suit. I'll have you know that there's a criminal angle to defamation. I chose not to go that route.
So there is a criminal angle.
There's a criminal angle to defamation now. He could very well have been arrested. But this so-called narrative that they are peddling now, because now that's the narrative that, me and my family want to oppress this guy because we have legal muscle. Come on, man. I know they find trouble, Baba. I know they find trouble, Baba. I dare my day. You set your ring light, begin to talk all this nonsense about me, and you expect me to sit down? I afforded this guy a phone conversation.
Yeah, I wanted to speak about
Sheon Kuti is a mutual.
Yep.
I saw, when this thing first came out, I saw Sheon Kuti saying on his Instagram live that he knew about it, something. So I called him. What's in with this, Baba? So Sheon must have called him, and then he reached out to me. And on the phone, this guy was instantly defensive. From the big, like, bro, try and listen. Like, what are you even already fighting about? And he said to me, without mincing words, he said, Shebi, you're a lawyer, go to court. In my opinion, this person,
during the conversation to try to find common ground,
this person, in my opinion, wanted the litigation. Now, what he thinks that does for him, I do not know. I do not know what he thinks that does for him. I don't know if he thinks it will posture him as some sort of hero. But he clearly wanted the litigation. Without that conversation went. Because as soon as you posted this thing, I sent you the pre-action notice saying what you've posted is a load of bollocks. Absolutely false. I need you to take it down and offer an apology within a certain amount of time. What did he do? Nothing.
I thought I saw, first of all, apologies from Sheon, and then I saw I believe I saw an apology from him too.
So Sheon Kuti, did his because of the things he said
Of course.
on his life,
Yeah.
but that's aside.
Yeah.
He didn't offer an apology. He said, and this was at the House of Assembly when he was invited to this panel, said a few words, some people are taking advantage to tarnish the image of my dad. Absolutely did not mention my name. Has been dodging mentioning my name ever since I wrote to him. That same day, posted something on his Instagram story at FALz the bad guy. Oh, I wish say you day here to see what's in the happen for you.
Yeah. I think
Come
I
on,
saw
man.
that on the blogs.
Bro, what are you doing? This is not an apology. This defamatory publication still exists on your page. What are you doing? What is this? And you people are trying to peddle a narrative that I'm an oppressor. Are you people in?
Your track record
Bro,
definitely is
go to my comment section now as we dey speak. Go to my comment section.
Negative?
Go dey read comments. Bro, just go read comments by yourself.
negative.
You will see where people dey. And this is the reason why a lot of people say things like, oh, Nigerians deserve what they get. I don't like to make statements like that, because really and truly, nobody deserves the amount of pain that we go through, bro. Nobody does. But when you don't take your time to carefully assess scenarios and you jump on cheap manipulation tactics and you then spew negativity at somebody for absolutely no just cause, of course people are going to say stuff like that.
People buy into that. What about the audio that he had presumed to have played, which alleged that the other person was saying what they had
And
said?
that's why I'm saying that audio now has been denied by the person that he's alleging was the author. And bro, he who alleges must prove.
Must prove.
So he has a lawyer. His lawyer has been in contact. So I imagine his lawyer would have explained all these things to him. So since he really, really desperately wants litigation, the rest of the explanation will be done in court.